Though tonight and become mostly dry, minimum temperatures of 9 to 13 degrees. And now you're up to date on News Talk.
Off the ball. This is News Talk.
Hello there, you're welcome along to Tuesday evening show. We have, for the week that's in it, got Darren O'Sullivan and Barry Call in studio this evening between 8 and 9. Two men involved in the 2011 All-Ireland final. They'll be along reminiscing and looking ahead to this Sunday. We have Kevin Kilbane back in studio. He'll be on the football show. He's here on this Newsround. Hello, Kev.
Oh, yeah, Joe. How are you keeping?
Very well. And as promised last night, Rich Beam with us around 7:30. He'll give us his take on Rory McIlroy's performance in Atlanta and cast an eye back on the 2019 season. So Rich Beam on the way around 7:30, I think. Very good commentator on Sky in the golf.
Yeah, I watched the golf at the weekend and really enjoyed it.
Rory was good.
Yeah, it was great last day, wasn't it?
Kev, not long now until Electric Picnic.
Here we go.
Headline act.
The main man.
Well, not headline act, Rich. Come on now.
You're getting there, Kev.
Am I?
You're getting there.
Up the bill.
Just imagine that walk to the decks. Are they still called decks? What are you doing exactly?
The ones and twos.
DJing.
DJing. Now, come here. There was a rumour that you're actually just pressing play somewhere and then pretending to DJ.
Well,
that's what DJing is.
If you want to believe that rumour, Richie doesn't believe that rumour.
I have full faith in my colleague here.
Yeah. If you want to believe that, you're fine. But
I know what's involved in it.
I categorically deny that.
Deny those rumours.
Yeah.
That's all. I just wanted you to deny it, so now I can use the headline. Kilbane denies. I see. I've got you there, Kev. That's how this game works.
Yeah, I know. You're a little.
Listen, you should know at this stage, Kilbane. I have you on the record now. Now I can print the accusation. So tell me what you're doing. You're at Electric Picnic on Saturday. Where are you? What tent?
I am in the AIB Tap House tent. Yeah, so a tap house area actually. So it's going to be well. Hopefully we've got special guests as well coming on, so that'll be good as well, Joe.
Oh. Musical special guest?
Yeah, it'd be good. Good crack.
May have they been in contact with you recently on Twitter.com?
No.
Groove Armada were in touch.
How do you know that?
They tweeted you.
No, I'm that.
You retweeted it.
Was he?
Yeah.
They just give me a bit of support. Just give me a bit.
Good.
Give me a bit of support.
What time will you be in this tent?
9 o'clock, 9 p.m.
Oh, is that a good time? What's the peak time?
I don't know.
It's a decent time, yeah?
It's a good time, isn't it? Yeah.
Sun's gone down.
Plenty of time to enjoy yourself after it as well, I would say.
Yeah.
I would suggest, yeah.
Everyone's well lubricated. That's all good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that'll be good. Great timing, yeah.
I've never been.
Have you not?
No.
Even with us?
Never.
Why?
With us, I was never doing Saturdays, and then I've just never been.
You're a bit of a hermit. You know, sometimes you've got to go out and... I mean, Richie actually crossed the border last week. He went to Northern Ireland. Like, that was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. So
It's not our border, Kev.
Well, no, you did. Well, it's yours. It is yours, Rich, actually.
No, it's the British border in Ireland.
You've explained that to me many a time. But, yeah, he actually did. He ventured out of Dublin, so that was an amazing thing. So, Joe, you've got to get out. You've got to get out, mate. Honestly.
Have you ever done a festival at all?
Have you ever been to a gig?
Oxygen back in the day, and
where was Oxygen?
Would have been Punchestown Ferry House. Punchestown.
Are you lying now?
No.
Are you trying to make yourself look cool?
Nah, pretty much everybody's done Oxygen.
There's no danger of me looking cool. Don't worry about it. And then, well, it's not a festival. Slane, I guess, a few times. But in terms, what other festivals would there have been back in the day? Oxygen was like the
Slane
one.
would have been just big gigs at the time, though, wouldn't it? That would have been. Yeah. I'd never actually been to Slane to see anyone, but... You've
got your Slanes, your Sea Sessions, your Independences, your Body and Souls.
Mm-hmm. And are you an Electric Picnic fan?
I haven't been in a couple of years.
Right.
I think I've done my share of festivals. Like,
I'd say you've done them all. Only in Dublin, though.
No, I went to Reading. I was actually reminiscing I went to Reading. It was now 15 years ago.
Did you get on a flight?
Yeah, we got on a flight.
It's unbelievable.
Went to Luton. Do you know who was on my flight coming home?
Who?
Roddy Collins. He was like 3 seats in front of us. I'm not making this up.
Had he been to Reading too?
No, he'd been over to England, I think, to sign F and a Koku for Dublin City. I might be remembering this wrong. It was around the time of Koku and Carlton Palmer joined Dublin City. And Roddy had been over in England to try and secure the signatures.
Yeah. And
there are 3 rows behind him as me and my mate Nilo, with still wearing our wellies, and I think with flags as belts on our jeans. It was a pretty rough situation.
Have you been to Glastonbury?
No.
I've never been in Glastonbury.
Any great intention to?
No, it's too big and unwieldy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Too commercial for you, Rich, isn't it?
No, it's not commercial.
Richie's kind of cool, and he tries to be trying.
The problem with festivals is now
he likes things until they're popular.
Very lazy.
Has he?
Yeah. Very lazy.
I was even a bit like, I was like that
Richie only
10
likes it
years
when
ago.
when there's two people talking about it, him and his mate,
Yeah.
and then anyone else that's talking about it, that's
Ruins
it.
Ruins it. As soon as anyone else knows about it.
Yeah.
Can you
it's,
write my
diluted.
biography, please? You seem to know more about me than I do.
And so, what is there like music pumping all day at Electric Picnic, or is it more of a chilled out vibe?
Well, you've got,
All right, Mr. Brent.
you've got a lot of areas, Joe. You've got a lot of different places where music is actually, so you can think around.
But it's not just music at this stage.
Music and arts.
Everything.
And arts.
Well, I believe the Dadcast are on there as well. You can go and see the Dadcast. You can go and
So
see.
you can see podcasts, like there's panel discussions.
Yeah.
It's that kind of a thing.
Yeah, down Minefield is actually really good.
I think there's a Today FM bit as well. There's all sorts.
Soundgarden,
There's
There
all
was
sorts going
been a
on.
News Talk 10 for a
Yeah.
couple of years, yeah. Okay. But I presume if you want music from morning till night time, you can get that too.
Absolutely.
Well, then 9 p.m. rather is not a bad slot for you then.
9
Kev, 'cause
a.m. would
They
be.
could have put you at 9 a.m. Imagine
Yeah.
you were on at midday.
That might have been better.
Well.
That might have been better. Crashed and burned at 12 p.m. in the afternoon, 12 noon. That'd have been a good one.
All day to kill after that, though, you know?
Yeah.
Boom.
And how long is your set at Electric Picnic?
An hour.
An hour.
Yeah, about an hour.
What kind of stuff are you playing? Oasis, Ocean Colour Scene, Cast.
No, you know I'm a big fan, but no, I dance, house. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Now, I'm into tricky territory here, trying to ask you further questions about this.
Go on, ask me something about dance and house, Joe. Go on.
So,
Who's feeding you these questions? They're not your own.
Is Ender feeding into your ear? A question to ask.
is the real challenge for you just switching from one song to another, or will you actively be doing things during...
There's a bit of that. Yeah,
Question, Enda.
that's a very good question.
Have I managed that okay?
You did, yeah, well done.
I just want to know, is that the big thing, to switch
it
a
is
song?
tricky, and I've been all over the place just getting me bloody set list together in the last few days. Yeah, so
Do
yeah.
you like actually have a set, like you're going to plough through
sorry.
rather than feeling the crowd?
Groove Armada sent me a
Yeah,
set list
that's a great shout. But I mean, if the crowd aren't feeling my music, then it could crash and burn very quickly, Rich.
And do you have a plan B?
Green and red of mayo. Yeah, I've got a great remix of the Green and red of mayo.
So
yeah.
no, back to my question though. Is it just
Well, put it this way, I'm
switching
not-
from your tune? Are you're not actually like
I'm not playing Britney. I'm not going to play Britney if all else fails. You know, get a bit of Britney.
But you're not
in.
reinventing songs. You're not like mixing two songs together.
No.
None of that stuff.
No. Everything. I'm using versions of songs that have been mixed in the past, but I've got to mix them together with various other songs that I'll be choosing in my set list. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And have you all that figured out now? Because I saw a picture of you yesterday.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah. I've just.
What's the thing that's
got to
trickiest?
practice. Just.
What are you practicing?
Just changing from one song to the next, getting your timings right.
Beat matching.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beat matching. Yeah. Tempo's right. All these sort of things. Yeah.
So it's important that you segue out of one song into the other at the right moment,
Yeah.
with the right beat, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Grant, listen, I'm delighted we got through that.
Yeah. There you go.
Is this being videoed? Will I get to see this?
I hope it's not videoed, but one or two of the lads might be in the crowd, so you might get a few videos.
If anybody's heading down, please go and video Kev.
This may end up on the Off the Ball Periscope at this stage.
Oh yeah, can you? Yeah, bloody hell, on the Facebook page or something like that.
Absolutely. Fela was the festival, lads, back in the day, says somebody. Did Kev not get the chopper to Slane after the Dutch game, John in Dublin?
Nobody did. No, the chopper was asked. Jason was asked to go on the chopper, wasn't he?
Well, he thought they were joking.
Got a phone call.
You would do. You would think Bono wants you to come on stage.
Well, he actually did, and I was sat with him. Jason tells a great story. I was sat with Jason in the bar.
Jason tells a great story.
Yeah, we sat with him in the bar, and he rang up, and Jason's like on the phone. He's like going, "No, mate, no, I don't fancy it. Don't fancy it, lad. No, I'm with the lads tonight. We're going out into town." That was pretty much how the conversation went. Then he come off the phone. He went, "That was U2's manager. He just wanted me to go to Slane. Didn't fancy it, you know." That was kind of how it went,
Right.
really. Yeah.
So that he does tell the truth then.
Yeah, but he genuinely believed it was them on the phone, though.
Do you not?
Oh, it was them. Yeah, I think it was them.
Okay.
I think it was their people that had contacted Jason. Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you were implying he was lying here.
No, Jason tries to make out he didn't really believe it was them. He knew it was them.
Oh, you did, yeah.
He did know.
He just
it was
didn't
them,
fancy
yeah.
it.
No, he didn't. He wanted to come into town.
What would you have done,
I wouldn't have gone. I'd have stayed.
Richie?
On that day,
With the lads or Bono?
I know for a fact that Richie would choose the lads. 100%.
He's thinking.
Not even. It's not even
everybody needs to go together. It's not just McAteer's moment.
Why didn't you?
Would you? I know what you choose. It depends. You'd want that adulation.
If McAteer had said down the phone, Paul McGuinness, listen, I'll go. If like everybody has to come, it's not just him. McGuinness would have been like, yeah, okay, Grant. Everybody come along. Everybody has their moment. You all get a little wave on stage, or you get waved at from beyond in the hill, which is what they do down there, and everything would have been cushy.
Yeah.
McAteer deprived you of that special moment
If anything,
because he wanted to bring you to
It would
coppers.
have been better if you all went. You know,
Yeah.
from a U2 perspective.
Honestly, I just don't think we had an interest in it. We're on a high anyway. And I think I'm right in saying we did have actually another game after that. So if we went to Slane, we wouldn't have been back till 5 a.m, and Mick wouldn't have been happy about
Chop
that.
her up, chop her back.
Yeah, would it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't.
How many can you get in a chopper? 5 people.
Yeah, well, that was a fair point. But it wouldn't have been worth your while hanging out in Slane for the evening.
Slane's rubbish.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I wouldn't have fancied it. I generally wouldn't have fancied it. No.
Yeah. Fair enough. Kev was giving it socks at the last gig he did. Loads of wagging fingers. Were you? Give us your. What's your?
A lot of that.
What's your beat for the crowd?
Boom. Oh, nice. There we go.
A bit of that, yeah.
That's good. That's good.
You're a natural.
Yeah. Will we ever see the day Killer does a set in Tomorrowland? Tomorrowland?
Where's Tomorrowland?
What am I missing here?
It's a big festival, says Pete. Shout again, Pete. What is it?
Where's that?
Oh, Pete's the actual DJ in the house, by the way.
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah.
Oh, Belgium. It's a huge festival in Belgium.
That must be house, rave.
Like Creamfields was.
Probably, yeah.
Is Creamfields still going, Pete?
I've been to Creamfields. I went to, and I used to go in Cream in Liverpool as well.
I heard that was mighty crack, that place.
Good times.
There are people.
And you want to tell us on air?
People suggesting a DJ name for you.
Yeah.
Do you have one?
I've been christened DJ Killer, but I don't know how good that is.
Jack in Glasnevin likes Spinady in Kilbane.
That's very good.
Not bad. Not bad. Jack in Glasnevin, good shout.
Very good.
And then spare a thought for Brian in Kildare. Lads, I'm a long-time Bolton fan since 8 years old. Jason McAteer, and I thought he was so cool at the time. He left for Liverpool the next year, but I stuck with Bolton, and believe me, being a Bolton fan as a kid was no fun, but I wouldn't change a bit of it. I love the club so much. I'm devastated to see what's happening. I truly hope this can get sorted.
I know.
It's very grim. We'll talk more about it on the football show. I'm sure it's in Richie's Newsround, which we should start. So, interestingly, it seems Joe Schmidt unexpectedly called a press conference today.
He did indeed. We thought we were going to get a couple of players in the lead up to Wales on Saturday, but Schmidt decided to get the message from the top table out there today as well. And he says Ireland were flat, slow and inaccurate in last Saturday's 57-15 defeat to England at Twickenham. Speaking this afternoon, the head coach says the performance was unacceptable and beneath where they need to be ahead of the Rugby World Cup. On the injury front, Keith Earls is out of Saturday's warm-up with Wales in Cardiff with a knee tendonitis injury. Schmidt says Johnny Sexton is keen to be involved in Cardiff, but he won't be risked unless 100% fit. The following game at the Aviva, more likely an outing for Sexton, while Conor Murray trained this morning despite taking a knock to the head at Twickenham. And the head coach says there's been no internal chatter about the position of captain Rory Best, although he claims that no spot in this side is safe.
To be honest, if there is external noise of that nature, there's certainly no internal noise of that nature. So probably for Rory, it's that internal noise that is most relevant to him, because that's where the decisions are going to be made. And at this stage, there are no decisions that are being made in that direction. So you're on the back of, there are guys who are going to get an opportunity this weekend, and if they perform better than any other player that played last weekend, then there's always a contest, and you've got to keep that contest live. And I think we've seen that in other teams. You saw an All Black team get beaten 47-26, come out and win 36-0 with a number of changes, where established players were left out and new, fresh players came in and put them under pressure.
I'm not sure how long the full press conference was, maybe 7-8 minutes? 11. I saw about a 7-8 minutes version of it. Thought he was very authoritative, very good press conference. There's no panic here. We acknowledge this was bad. We have trained very hard. This is all part of our building process. We're still in the pre-season side of things when it comes to getting up to match speed. But yes, it was bad. There were also some good pockets of good things. Just authoritative. It was a good press conference.
I was watching the game, Rich, at the weekend, and I've not seen any of the analysis. I've not really seen. I was in here, so I watched a lot of it, so you couldn't really hear what the commentator was saying. But obviously, it looks bad when you're watching it, when it's continued the heavy flow of England attacks. But is that it now? Or is that we're gone, or is the suggestion is that there is something up the sleeve and we're actually going to get something together now ahead of the World Cup?
I mean, I don't think there's a box of magic tricks up their sleeve or some master game plan that they've been keeping in their back pocket. And I never really bought that anyway, because, you're going to have to show some of that against Scotland. By the time you reach a quarter-final, you'll have to at least have tried it, whatever new magic game plan people are talking about in very competitive games. So, as South Africa or New Zealand will have had time to analyse it anyway. So, there's not going to be some dramatic change. However, and I'm sure you can relate to this massively as well, when you're not as fit as you need to be, when basics get sloppy, you can suddenly look a whole lot worse than you actually are very, very quickly. And Schmidt made the point that in these World Cup warm-ups, you do get these disproportionate results.
Yeah.
That is a majorly reassuring thing, but like, it's the worst defeat of his career. There were some basic fundamentals that were off as well. So it's both worrying and also...
What's the analysis around the game since, though, from most of the pundits and everything?
Like, a bit of that, you know, like, stressing the fact that for 12 players it was the first time they've played since they broke off in May.
Right, yeah.
So, like, I mean, how would you have been?
Yeah, I understand that.
But by the same token, saying things like, well, you know, the fundamentals, like defence, line out a mess, scrum not brilliant.
Yeah.
Attack not shown very much. Nobody really stood up and played very well. Like, there was very little good.
Yeah, I mean, they're the fundamentals that's worked on the training ground tirelessly by him, isn't it?
And you could argue, like, I mean, fair enough if you didn't have brilliantly timed runs and orchestrated attacking moves, but something like the line out, is that not the kind of thing that should be worked on and, you know, and fine fettle at this close to the World Cup? Look, maybe who knows, maybe they're holding back do they want their line out overly analysed? You don't know to what extent stuff's been held back. In truth, it's definitely an eye-catching defeat for sure.
They'd want the lineup working better than it did on Saturday.
Unless they're just holding back a ton of stuff.
I can't imagine them holding back so much that it performed that badly.
It's hard to argue with that. The really intriguing truth is we will only be able to kind of confidently analyse what happened on Saturday through the prism of how the World Cup goes.
I think we should be grateful. It sounds weird coming out because everybody's so pessimistic about what happened against England on Saturday. I don't think there's been any grave injury concerns heading into the World Cup just yet.
No.
Sexton will probably be back to full fitness by the time the Scotland game comes around, if not the second or third pill match.
They're saying Sexton or Carbery?
Sexton.
Sexton's going to play in the second Welsh game.
Yeah.
And then Carbery,
But in terms of peak fitness, he'll have a game under his belt by Wales and that.
Yeah.
So second or third, that's where you want to be actually hitting your stride. And if you come through to that period with no injuries, you know, I'd be optimistic.
Cautiously.
Yeah, very much so. Jesus, history has kind of proven that.
Yeah. So Brian O'Driscoll's going to be on OTBM this morning, or tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning, and he was speaking about that Rory Best situation, saying the hooker still has a key role to play in Japan.
Yeah, listen, there's no doubt he's on the wane. You know, he's 37 years of age. You know, he's been in the front row of international rugby for over 12 years. I don't know any human being that wouldn't be massively affected by that, the brutality of what he's taken, particularly the way he's played the game as well, and getting himself in, and he's big focus on jackling. But for me, with Rory Best, he doesn't have to be one of the best players on the pitch. He just has to facilitate others to do their best job, and he needs to get his darts right, he needs to scrummage well, and he just needs to hit rucks. He doesn't have to be a ball carrier anymore, because I think that has been his ability to do that has been watered down in recent years. He's lost that little bit of spark in the legs. So just do the simple things very well. If we can get his accuracy at line out time, and we can get our stats much improved from last week, and we can win our set piece at scrum as well, and you can do a job there. His ability to lead and be a cool head at key times is still a great asset to have.
It's probably good advice. You don't have to be the best player, Rory Best. Just facilitate others and be a good leader. It's a more attainable target than I've got to fix everything now.
And again, manage his game time properly during the course of the pill.
Yeah, so that full interview with Brian O'Driscoll and Jamie Heaslip on tomorrow's OTBAM.
Tomorrow morning's OTBAM live on all our social channels every weekday morning from 7:30. Shamrock Rovers can close the gap on leaders Dundalk in the SSE Airtricity Premier Division to 4 points this evening, albeit with 2 games more played. Stephen Bradley's side welcome Waterford to Tallaght Stadium, where there is an 8 o'clock start. That aforementioned news from the northwest of England today. Bury are facing expulsion from the Football League after the company attempting to buy the club, C&N Sporting Risk, said it was unable to proceed with its takeover. The League One club had been given until 5 p.m. this evening to complete the deal. Meanwhile, Bolton's administrators say discussions are ongoing with all parties regarding their future, and a statement will be made later this evening on that front.
DJ name for Kilbane. I'm not sure about this.
Go on.
So I don't know how to pronounce it. So what he has written down is Dr. A space, then chill. So it's the spelling of Ackle.
Ah, yeah.
Doesn't work when you say it out loud, though.
Dr. A chill? Or do you say Dr. Ackle? It doesn't really work.
Unless you're playing a load of chill wave.
That's Nolan Wicklow. Sorry, Noel. I mean, I get what he's going for.
Yeah. Solid effort.
Yeah. Very solid effort, no.
Yeah.
Tell Killer, bring a football with him and break out the keepy uppies if you're bombing. You're welcome, says Jim. Ask Kev what he thinks about how soft the media are on the Irish rugby lads, but then hammer the football team when things go badly. Such an obvious double standard, Shane and Limerick.
I think that's all. I do generally think there has been the case over the years. It has been the case.
Yeah.
And considering, it is what it is, and we know that, but I think considering where our lads are and the clubs that a lot of our lads have been at over the last 15 years or so, I do think there is more scrutiny on the footballers than there are on the rugby players. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's probably true. It probably does happen. I certainly feel that your team laterally, in the Staunton time and whatever, got a really tough treatment. And in part, it's only in more recent times that you realise, Kenny's such a great fella, Shay Given's a lovely fella, all really care about it, go about their business the right way. Gary Breen, such a brilliant fella, cares about Ireland so much, and you at that time, kind of, as the rugby team were really blossoming and that golden generation, quite likeable bunch, as they were blossoming, ye, by comparison, probably suffered. People didn't realise how much you all cared about Ireland, what a kind of down-to-earth bunch you were, because the Premier League money was getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I think that's going on. That's always thrown at football, isn't it?
Yeah.
But,
it doesn't make it right, by the way.
I complain about it, though. I mean, I generally do want the rugby team to succeed. I think that's the way it was. I don't think there was ever any bitterness from our side over what was happening. We just had to accept it the way that it was.
Well, you sensed it, did you?
Oh, definitely, yeah, definitely. There was a definite turn after 2002. Definitely, we did find a lot more. There was a lot more critique of the team, and they were a lot more critical of the side, without a doubt, going forward. That after 2002, after we come back, everything changed really. I think after the World Cup, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
That shouldn't have been the case, really, because 2002 had nothing to do with the vast majority of people there.
Yeah, but I just think there was so much more scrutiny around the side then. I'd say we probably went from a clutch of, I might be correct on this, but I would probably say a dozen journalists that would regularly cover the game, that you would know all the faces. All of a sudden you would turn up at press conferences and there was 25, 30, and it expanded, it blew up.
It was just the media landscape that changed, as opposed to a mindset shift after 2002.
I think so. And again, someone might correct me on that, but I do remember when you used to go to press conferences and you'd speak to press lads, you would know all the lads personally, and then there'd be a new lad coming in, and there'd be 2, 3, 4 new lads coming in, and you wouldn't
mushroomed out.
Yeah, you wouldn't necessarily know a lot of lads.
True of a lot of sports.
So there's a lot more voices, isn't there, that's coming in, so that was kind of how it went.
Yeah, that would be true of a lot of sports, though, I would think. I'm sure there were more people going to rugby press conferences in the 2000s than there were in the late 90s.
Yeah, but there was a lot. We became so high profile after 2002, didn't we? After what happened, so there was so much more to be writing about going forward. And then
there was news and sport people there, essentially.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Roy was obviously the headline act from that time, but then he wasn't in the squad yet. He was still captain of Man United. So is he going to come back? We had that after when Brian first took over, didn't we? So that then put everything onto. We were under a different type of scrutiny, definitely. Yeah.
And it never eased off. You felt then.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that certainly after that time, there was so much more scrutiny on the side. Yeah, definitely over the certainly till the end of my international career, the next 9 years or so after that. Yeah, definitely.
Richie, there's live football this evening?
Yeah, and plenty of Irish involvement as well. 8 Premier League sides facing tricky tests against lower league opposition in the second round of the Carabao Cup. Republic of Ireland under-21 striker Adam Ida starts for Norwich tonight away to Crawley Town. Aaron Connolly gets a first start for Brighton. They're away to Bristol Rovers. West Ham are away to League 2 Newport County. Michael Obafemi starts up front for Southampton, while Shane Long is on the bench for their game away to Fulham. Elsewhere, Watford host Coventry. Sheffield United play Blackburn. Aston Villa are on the road away to Crewe. Crystal Palace take on Colchester United. Elsewhere, among the pick of the ties tonight, Leeds playing host to Stoke and Nottingham Forest playing Derby in the Clough Derby. Well, Mayo manager James Horan has hailed the retiring Andy Moran as a brilliant player and a fantastic person. The 2017 Footballer of the Year brought the curtain down on his 16-year inter-county career last night. Horan added that the forward did everything humanly possible to be the best he could be, and that he got better with age. While former Mayo midfielder David Brady says the 2-time All-Star was a special talent.
Andy Moran has represented everything that is good about GAA. Not just alone Mayo football. There's none of us in the privileged place of winning everything we've wanted to and getting the ultimate goal in life. That's what Andy Moran gave, I suppose, GAA and the Mayo team since 2003. He's given it his all as a person, as a player.
I hadn't seen that old picture of
great photos there, wasn't it?
of Moran before, with the hair all out there, and what it looks like fully grown.
Mm-hmm.
Bless him.
Andy Moran.
Yeah, big loss and everything, isn't he? But he's been great, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Great player.
As close to universally popular, I think, as it gets.
Yeah.
A high-profile player.
Definitely.
Around the country.
Yeah, and I think he actually had another good season, making an impact, and it was actually like an added bonus this year, I think, to get him just to be involved this year and the impact that he has made. So yeah, he'd be missed massively, massive miss. Yeah,
he sure will. Sam Bennett then.
Yeah, great day for the Irish rider, but not entirely brilliant. He was denied back-to-back stage victories in the Vuelta a España by the narrowest of margins. Despite a late charge into El Puig, the Carrick Sure rider was beaten in a photo finish on stage 4 by Fabio Jakobsen. Ireland's Nicholas Roach retains the leader's red jersey, and Bennett says he left himself with too much to do today.
This one hurts a lot. Just there was nothing else we could do. Had to use our riders early, and I just couldn't get the right position and went the wrong side of the roundabout in the last K, and I was forcing it, but I just couldn't get the right place and couldn't get out in time. The speed was there, but I just couldn't do anything else on the day.
There is ongoing action at the US Open. The defending champion and top seed Naomi Osaka has been pushed to a third set by Anna Blinkova, the world number 84 this evening. Stefanos Tsitsipas also on court at the moment, the 8th seed, looking to avoid a second consecutive first round exit at a Grand Slam. He is currently 2-1 down to Andrei Rublev of Russia. Elsewhere today, former Wimbledon and French Open champion Garbiñe Muguruza is out, beaten in 3 sets by Alison Risk. Women's second seed Petra Kvitova, though, through to round 2 following a straight sets win over her fellow Czech Denisa Alertova. Later, Wimbledon champion Simona Halep takes on Nicole Gibbs, while the surprise package from Wimbledon, 15-year-old Coco Gauff, begins her first US Open campaign against Anastasia Potapova. Men's second seed Rafa Nadal also in action later. He faces the Aussie John Millman, while temperamental Nick Kyrgios takes on the world number 86 Steve Johnson. Overnight, Serena Williams thrashed Maria Sharapova in just 59 minutes, 6-1. 6-1 is headed 23-time Grand Slam winner. Began her campaign while Roger Federer even dropped a set against the Indian qualifier Sumit Nagal before progressing by 3-1. And Felix Jones could be working with the Springboks at next month's World Cup. The former Munster coach is reportedly wanted by Rassie Erasmus after attack coach Svies van de Bruijn withdrew from the South African management team ahead of the tournament in Japan. It's reported Erasmus wanted to take Jones with him when he left Munster for the Boks.
That'd be a hell of an unexpected journey for him, wouldn't it?
A nice little
enjoy a World Cup.
Experience for the South Africans forwards to do it as well.
That is the Newsround for this evening. Thanks, Richie. We are just a week away from being stared down by Roy Keane and Gary Neville at our Premier League Roadshow. It's happening at the Bord Gáis Energy Theatre September 4th in association with Cadbury. It's completely sold out, but for your chance to win a pair of tickets, just identify our mystery voice. He's heard Kev is going to drop some Sister Sledge into his DJ set at Electric Picnic. And if it comes down to a choice between Lost in Music or We Are Family...
Joe wrote this question himself, by the way.
He says the choice is clear.
We are families.
Can you sing a bit of those songs?
We are families.
I've got a Spanish version of We Are Family.
Have you?
Yeah, you'd love it. It'll go down a storm on Saturday. Yeah, absolutely.
We are families.
76.
If you know what that is, text your name and answer. 53106 for 30 cents. We're going to announce the winner later on in the show. That's our Roy Keane, Gary Neville Premier League Roadshow with thanks to Cadbury. 4th of September, Bord Gáis Energy Theatre. Now, short break. Rich Beam is going to join us, cast an eye back over the 2019 golfing season and give us his take on McIlroy's performance in Atlanta. And then after 8 o'clock, Darren O'Sullivan is in studio alongside Barry Cahill, the two men who wore both number 11 jerseys in 2011 in the All-Ireland final. They're going to reminisce about that week 8 years ago now. 8 years ago?
Jesus.
8 years ago. Yeah, there we are. That's on the way between 8 and 9.
Off the Ball on News Talk.
Bruce Betting, one of Ireland's leading bookmakers. With best odds guaranteed on UK and Irish horse racing, Bruce Betting has you covered. And with the Bruce Betting app, we're always giving you more. T's and C's apply. Bruce Betting, in-store, online, and now on your phone. Over 18s, please gamble responsibly. See dunlewy.net.
Italian summers, long days together in the sun, living la bella vita. In Ireland it's called the good life, and it's 3 days in June and maybe a weekend in August. But even in Irish summers, you can taste La Bella Vita with Italy's favourite beer, Birra Moretti. Ah, delicioso. Great taste, never lost in translation. Birra Moretti, l'Italiana autentica. That means authentically Italian. Always drink responsabile. Visit drinkaware.ie.
If you're thinking of buying a residential rental property, ICS Mortgages can provide an excellent range of flexible buy-to-let mortgages, including interest-only terms of up to 15 years. We'll also help you to refinance your existing portfolio and grow your property investments. Call 1890 427 427, visit icsmortgages.ie or contact your local mortgage broker. ICS Mortgages, the property investor's choice. Lending criteria, terms and conditions apply and are subject to change. The entire amount that you have borrowed will still be outstanding at the end of the interest-only period. Dilosk DAC, trading as Dilosk and ICS Mortgages, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
After a great start to the Euro 2020 qualifiers, the Republic of Ireland look to continue their 100% home record as they take on Switzerland on Thursday, September 5th at Aviva Stadium. Then on Tuesday, September 10th, we go again at Aviva for the 3 international friendly versus Bulgaria.